All right. Now, let me tell you all something straight from the heart. Because what just happened, it ain't no small step. This ain't just another press conference. This ain't just another tweet, storm, or newspaper headline. No, baby. This is history unfolding in real time. You better lean in and pay attention because India just broke the final chain of Western control. And when I say that, I mean it shook up the whole world order like thunder rolling down from the Himalayas. See, for decades, and I mean decades, India was treated like just another player on the chessboard. Not the king, not even the queen, just a pawn, a backup dancer in a global performance choreographed by Western powers. They'd hand over instructions, cut some deals, make a few promises and expect India to say, yes, sir, thank you, sir. Anything else, sir? But that India, that old India, she gone. Because the India we're looking at today is bold. She's fierce. She's not asking permission. She's setting the rules. She ain't begging to sit at the table. She's bringing the table. Let me put it like this. For years, the West controlled global finance, global trade, global tech, global power, global narrative. You were either in their club or outside looking in. They told India what to buy. Who to trade with, who to sanction, what to think, what to say, how to vote, how to grow, and if India pushed back, best believe there'd be concerns raised, ratings dropped, currency pressure, diplomatic shade thrown all over the place. But see, every empire that ruled by pressure has an expiry date, and India just called their bluff. Now, I ain't talking about one bold move. I'm talking about a collection of power plays that just snapped that final link in the chain that held India down, starting with trade. Oh yes, they thought they had India hooked on Western imports and Western money. But now India, cities were goods started trading in rupees with countries that ain't playing that Western game. Russia, UAE, Indonesia, even African nations. Everybody seeing India's playbook now and saying, hold up, you mean we don't got to use the dollar? And India is like, nah, baby, he's not anymore. And that's when the West started sweating, because they know it ain't about the rupee itself. It's about sovereignty. If India controls her trade, her currency, her roots, her rules, then the puppet strings are cut. You can't pull India back into the fold once she learned to stand on her own 2 feet. And right now, India is standing tall like never before. But let's go deeper. Look at energy. For years, the West dictated who got to sell oil to whom. Sanctions here, embargoes there. But India kept buying from Russia when it suited their interest. They didn't blink. They didn't stutter. They said, we'll buy it where it's best for us, and you'll deal with it. You got to understand that's not just about oil. That's a message. A message to the whole world that India ain't afraid. That India's policy is India first, no matter who's watching. And then there's tech. Let me tell you, this one right here, this is where the West is Silicon Valley giants thinking they run the data game, thinking India's digital future will always under American control. India said, you know what, we're building our world, the damn world done. The whole damn world is now copy you have world. That the world that used to lecture India about innovation is now trying to keep up. France using UPI, Singapore, UAE. Even Japan studying the blueprint. India didn't just break the chain. India rewired the damn system. And it ain't just apps and platforms. It's semiconductors, AI, cyber defense, and space tech. India ain't outsourcing dreams anymore. They're launching satellites on a budget so lean that NASA and the ESA got to sit down and rethink life. I mean, Handrian 3 made it to the moon soft landing, and the cost was less than a Hollywood sea-thigh movie. Bruh, who does that? India does, because they're no longer waiting on permission or validation. They're building their future their way. Now, don't even get me started on defense. There was a time when India imported nearly everything, missiles, jets, tanks, but not anymore. India said, we're going to make it here, and we're going to make it better. And that ain't just patriotism. That's power. See, the ability to defend yourself without relying on the very nations trying to contain you. That's how you break the leash. India's got homegrown missiles that fly faster than sound. drones smarter than ever, and a navy that's patrolling the Indian Ocean like it owns the joint. Because guess what? It does. And y'all want to know what really snapped the chain? It wasn't just economics or tech or military. It was mindset his. It was that moment India looked in the mirror and said, we don't need to prove ourselves to nobody. That's when it shifted. That's when all the noise faded out and India's voice got louder, clearer, stronger. No more acting like a middle power. No more apologizing for ambition. No more letting somebody else define who they are or what role they're supposed to play. India ain't emerging anymore. India's arrived and now the world's got no choice but to deal with it. You can see it at summits. His Western leaders used to talk at India. Now they lean in when India speaks. They want to partner, not preach. They want to join, not judge. India's strategic self. Reliance in defense because they see the numbers. They see the growth. They see the youth. They see the innovation his. But more than all that, they see the independence. And that scares them because they know once a nation learns how to think for itself, once it builds its own systems, once it walks with pride and purpose, you can't control it no more. And India ain't just walking. India's leading. Now, the media won't say it like that. They'll use words like shifting dynamics or geopolitical rebalancing. But let me break it down plain. The empire is cracking. That old colonial blueprint, the one that kept wealth flowing in one direction, his power centered in a handful of capitals and rules written by the few for the many. It just got burned. And the torch, it's in India's hands now. And baby, India is not burning bridges. They're lighting a new path. They're doing it with grace. They're doing it with grit. They're doing it without invading, without exploiting, without playing the dirty game. India said we ain't here to dominate, we're here to partner, to uplift, to trade fair, to build bridges. And that's the kind of leadership the world been starving, a leadership that don't want bark orders, listen, that don't hold power but shares it. So when I say India broke, the finance talking about a single element trend of cycle, but not mean to alone. You want to tell people both the last of the I'll go right there, I'll one pirates and then speaking of beautiful, and we were to say, going to the service of grow. For gold, what is the most big what is you found? That's freedom, not just political, not just economic, but spiritual. That soul-deep kind of freedom that no sanctions, no headlines, so no power plays can take away. So yeah, the final chain gone.